We are entering now a time where there's 7 or 8 long-haul races. A lot of mixed geographical travel, and it's the time when the championship is decided. The environment is very foreign, the food is very foreign. These are long-haul travel races. There is a night race in Singapore, which is very unnatural. The schedule is very difficult under artificial light. And it's that time of the season where the end is not quite in sight. The championship is still very tense, and people are really feeling 3/4 of the way through a long season that the work is still ahead of them. In Singapore, it's a special case, very hot, very humid, and the best preparation is specific heat training. So often a week in Asia somewhere, training in a very hot, humid climate. If that's not available, training in Europe in a specifically built heat chamber. Drivers have been known to move an exercise bike into a sauna and train. So very specific heat exposure is important. And then at the race weekend, you try to use our cooling practices around the race sessions, especially to bring the driver's core temperature down as much as possible and give them as much benefit as far into the race as we can get. That means keeping everybody as healthy as possible, as fit as possible, and sleeping as well as eating to the best possible nutrition. Let's have a little look at our medical facilities here trackside. So this is our trauma bag, our trauma and emergency bag, which hopefully we don't use very often. We are prepared here with a range of emergency medications, intravenous drugs, drugs for heart attacks, asthma attacks, this kind of thing. Some basic airway emergency equipment. We have up to 200 people here working trackside. Sometimes during the pack-up, there are forklifts and trucks and cargo containers everywhere, and a major trauma is something that doesn't happen very often, but it's something we need to be prepared for. We have a performance centre in Brackley, which is staffed by a couple of Hinsa coaches as well.
So basically what we look at is each and individual person, depending upon where they're working on the car, we try and look at how they're moving, because they're on their feet a lot during the race weekends. So what we try and look at is the amount of stress that are accumulating in their job, and then also how much stress that we need to do with the training sessions, because a training session is accumulated stress. But we need to give them the right dosage. So based on how well they move, what injury history they've got, we basically create this program for them.
So Sarah is a very talented physiotherapist, and at the pit stop specifically, every corner of the car is different. Everyone is oriented slightly differently. Everybody has different length arms and legs, different back strength. And so Sarah is monitoring each individual member of the pit crew in the specific role that they're doing, whether they're putting a wheel on, whether they're working a wheel gun, just looking at the fine detail of their movements to see if that can be optimized, or if a particular person might be better in a different position, for example. Most of our team live in the UK. They are not home very much through the year, and so we tend to become the family doctor, and we're dealing with all of the usual problems that people have when they are sick at home. So yeah, it never stops.